What if the moment you stopped posting your private life on social media was the moment your real life finally began? What if silence, deliberate, chosen silence, was not absence, but power gathering itself? Most who walk this world believe visibility is existence, that if they are not seen, they are fading, that if they are not acknowledged, they are failing. They measure worth by reaction, identity by applause, and progress by how loudly it echoes. And yet, you are here because something inside you suspects this is a lie. You feel it when you reach for the phone without intention, when you craft moments not to live them, but to display them. When your days feel busy, yet hollow, when comparison poisons joy, when your inner voice grows quieter, the louder the world becomes. This is not weakness, it is awareness struggling to breathe. Remain here until the end, and you will not receive motivation. You will receive orientation. Not encouragement, but recalibration. Now, pause this video for a moment. Let this be the line between who you were and who you are becoming. Mark it by writing this in the comments. I do not perform for attention, I live for truth. Let's continue. This video is not about abandoning technology. It is about reclaiming sovereignty. The Stoics did not flee the world. They mastered themselves within it. When you stop caring about posting on social media, you don't become invisible. You become uncontrollable. Here are the 7 types of person you become. Number 1, you become the silent builder. Posting is declaration. Building is execution. The one who posts is concerned with how life appears. The builder is concerned with how life functions. When you stop narrating your progress, you recover time. Not minutes, focus. Not hours, depth. The Stoics trained in obscurity. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire and reminded himself, do not waste what remains of your life speculating about others, unless it serves the common good. The silent builder wakes early, not to announce discipline, but to practice it. They train without witnesses. They read without summarizing. They improve without permission. Like a lone traveler crossing a desert before dawn, they conserve energy. They understand that nothing fragile survives constant exposure. Practical discipline emerges here. Work in private. Measure progress internally. Let results arrive before explanation. Ask yourself, how much of your exhaustion comes not from effort, but from display? Number 2, you become a person not reachable by comparison. Comparison requires visibility. It feeds on curated surfaces and incomplete truths. When you stop caring about posting, you step out of the arena where false hierarchies thrive. You no longer measure your life against edited fragments of others. Seneca observed this disease clearly. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The mind that constantly compares is never present. It is always elsewhere, chasing, resenting, diminishing. The Stoic alternative is grounding. You compare only one thing, who you were yesterday versus who you are becoming. The storms outside no longer dictate your inner climate. You walk steady while others sprint in circles. Practical application is simple, but not easy. Limit exposure. Audit what enters your eyes. If something provokes envy, remove it without debate. A man guarding a flame does not invite the wind to test it. Number 3, you become someone who is emotionally self-sufficient. Validation is addictive because it substitutes judgment. Likes tell you how to feel without requiring thought. When they disappear, something frightening happens. You must decide for yourself. This is the moment most retreat. But the Stoic advances. Epictetus taught, if you want to be free, desire nothing that depends on others. The emotionally self-sufficient person still enjoys praise, but does not require it. They still feel disappointment, but are not ruled by it. They respond rather than react. They choose rather than crave. Practical grounding. Before sharing anything, ask, is this for expression or extraction? If it is the latter, remain silent. Silence is not emptiness. It is armor. Number 4, you become disciplined with your attention. Attention is life itself. Where it goes, energy follows. Where energy flows, character is formed. The one who constantly posts lives outward. Their attention is fragmented, pulled apart by reaction, response, and anticipation. They are never fully where they stand. But when you stop caring about posting, your attention returns home. Marcus Aurelius warned himself with quiet severity. People look for retreats, for themselves in the country, by the sea, in the mountains. But nowhere can a person find a more peaceful retreat than in their own mind. The disciplined mind does not leak energy. It chooses what deserves presence and what does not. You begin to notice how often your thoughts were interrupted, not by necessity but by habit. How often boredom masqueraded as urgency? How often distraction disguised itself as rest? This transformation is not dramatic, it is surgical. You begin to read without glancing away. You listen without rehearsing replies. You work without checking whether anyone noticed. Practical discipline emerges here. Single task relentlessly. Create blocks of time where no one can reach you, not because you are important, but because the work is. Like a fortress built on stone, attention strengthens only when it is defended. Number 5. You become indifferent to false urgency. Social media trains the nervous system to believe everything is immediate. Trends expire. Outrage refreshes. Relevance threatens to vanish by the hour. This creates a perpetual sense of being late. The Stoic sees through this illusion. Seneca wrote with cutting clarity, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." When you stop posting, the clock slows, not objectively, but psychologically. You reclaim patience. You no longer feel compelled to comment on every event. You no longer mistake reaction for responsibility. Like a traveler who understands the terrain, you conserve strength for the long road. Practical grounding. Delay responses. Let news settle before forming opinions. Remember, nothing truly important demands panic. Urgency is often the language of those who want control. Pause here. If these insights are sharpening something inside you, do not treat this as passive consumption. This channel is built for those who apply, not applaud. A simple act, liking and subscribing, helps keep these teachings alive for those who seek depth over noise. Now we descend further. Number 6, you become anchored to internal standards. When you post, the world grades you. When you stop, you become the examiner. This is the most uncomfortable shift and the most powerful. Without external metrics, excuses collapse. You cannot blame algorithms for stagnation. You cannot disguise inconsistency as invisibility. Epictetus was relentless on this point. Do not seek that events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and your life will go well. Internal standards are unforgiving, but fair. You begin to ask better questions. Did I act with integrity today? Did I speak truthfully? Did I do the difficult thing when no one was watching? These questions build a spine. Practical implementation. End each day with review. Not self-criticism, but self-audit. Where did you betray your values? Where did you uphold them? A man guided by internal law does not need surveillance. Number 7, you become quietly formidable. This is the final transformation and the least visible. When you stop caring about posting, you accumulate something rare, unseen competence. You do not announce resilience. You demonstrate it under pressure. You do not display wisdom. You embody it in conflict. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, waste no more time arguing what a good person should be. Be one. The quietly formidable person is not aggressive. They are immovable. Storms pass, chains break, fires burn, but do not consume them. They are not impressive at first glance, but they endure. Practical reality. Invest in skills that compound. Strengthen body, mind, and judgment. Accept obscurity as training, not punishment. What grows in darkness often survives the light. When you go silent online, something strange happens. People begin to project onto you. They assume you've failed. They assume you've disappeared. They assume you've lost relevance. But the truth is far more dangerous. You've stepped outside the psychological marketplace where attention is traded for identity. And when you do that, you stop being owned by the crowd. When you post, you are asking to be seen. When you stop posting, you are choosing to see. This shift changes everything. You begin to notice how others perform, how desperate some are for validation, how anxious many feel when they are not being watched. You see the hunger behind the selfies, the insecurity behind the confidence, the loneliness behind the noise. And once you see this, you can never unsee it. That awareness is Stoic clarity, the ability to observe without being pulled. Most people don't know who they are without an audience. They post their opinions to feel certain. They post their wins to feel worthy. They post their struggles to feel supported. When you stop, you are forced to face yourself. Your thoughts become quieter. Your emotions become more honest. Your sense of self becomes internal. This is where real identity is forged, not in public, but in private. You become someone who exists without needing permission. That is rare. That is power. You no longer give them access. They cannot monitor your progress. They cannot track your mood. They cannot compare themselves to you. And this makes them uncomfortable, because comparison is how people feel safe. Your absence removes their reference point. It forces them to look at their own life without distraction. And many people would rather scroll than self-reflect. The ancient Stoics trained themselves to need very little from the world. No praise, no admiration, no approval, just inner alignment. When you stop posting, you are practicing this ancient discipline. You are teaching your nervous system that it is safe to exist without being seen, that you are worthy without being acknowledged, that you are real even when no one is watching. This is how unshakable men and women are made. Something else happens when you go silent. People start treating you differently. They speak more carefully. They test you less. They project more. Why? Because mystery commands respect. When someone knows everything about you, they feel they know you. When they don't, they feel your presence, and presence carries weight. You are no longer just a personality. You become a force. Your online persona is a costume. When you stop wearing it, you feel exposed at first, but then something happens. You feel lighter. No need to curate, no need to impress, no need to keep up. You begin to live for alignment, not appearance. And alignment is the foundation of confidence. Most people cannot tolerate being unseen. They panic, they feel irrelevant, they feel forgotten, but you are learning something powerful. Your worth does not decrease in silence. In fact, it deepens. Because what is not constantly consumed is allowed to grow. You are no longer predictable. No one knows when you are struggling. No one knows when you are winning. No one knows what you are building. This makes you impossible to undermine. Envy needs visibility. Manipulation needs access. Sabotage needs information. You provide none. And that is strategic silence, the Stoic way. As days go by without posting, your nervous system changes. You stop waiting for reaction. You stop checking for feedback. You stop measuring yourself against strangers. Your mind becomes quieter. In that quiet, your intuition becomes louder. You start to know things without explanation. You sense when something is wrong. You feel when something is right. This is inner sovereignty. You are not quitting social media. You are quitting emotional dependency. You are not going offline. You are going inward. And inward is where all real strength is forged. When you go silent, something else begins to happen. The wrong people start drifting away. Not because you pushed them, but because you stopped performing for them. You no longer update. You no longer explain. You no longer seek their reaction. And without realizing it, you stop feeding their psychological need for access. This reveals something uncomfortable. Some people were not connected to you. They were connected to the version of you they could watch. Posting creates a false intimacy. People feel close to you because they see fragments of your life. When that feed stops, so does the illusion. The ones who only wanted proximity for entertainment or comparison fade away. The ones who genuinely care reach out privately. This is not loss, it is purification. You don't lose people, you lose spectators. And spectators were never meant to be in your inner world. Silence gives you leverage. When people don't know what you're thinking, they listen more carefully. When they don't know what you're doing, they assume you are doing something important. This isn't manipulation. This is psychological gravity. Your presence becomes heavier because it is no longer diluted by constant exposure. In Stoic terms, you've moved from noise to substance. You begin to do things without documenting them. You succeed without announcing it. You struggle without broadcasting it. You grow without narrating it. This creates something rare: self-respect. You no longer need your life to be witnessed for it to be meaningful. Meaning becomes internal. And when meaning becomes internal, confidence follows. Not loud confidence, quiet certainty, the kind that cannot be shaken. You become harder to manipulate. People can't read your mood. They can't anticipate your reactions. They can't use your vulnerability for leverage. Your emotional privacy protects you, and protection creates stability. Some people will accuse you of being distant, but what they really mean is, I no longer have access to you. And access is not a right, it is a privilege. Your silence becomes a mirror. It forces others to sit with their own noise, their own anxiety, their own hunger for attention. They feel exposed, so they project. They'll say you're cold, they'll say you've changed, they'll say you're arrogant, but what they really mean is, you no longer need me to feel real. And that threatens them. Epictetus taught, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. If you want to become strong, be content to be unseen, to not be praised, to not be validated, to not be applauded. Because applause is a trap. It makes you perform instead of progress. You have stepped out of that trap. You are becoming someone who does not flinch when ignored, someone who does not shrink when unseen, someone who knows their value without needing reflection. This is inner dominance. and it is rare. You may feel lonely at first, but this is not loneliness. This is withdrawal. You are detoxing from attention, and detox always feels uncomfortable before it feels clean. Stay here. When you remove noise, something ancient wakes up inside you. Your intuition. Social media drowns it. Constant opinions, endless comparisons, infinite information. It overwhelms your inner compass. But when you go silent, your mind becomes quiet enough to hear itself. You begin to feel when something is wrong. You begin to sense when something is right. Not because you were told, but because you are present. This is not emotion. This is awareness. The Stoics called it living in accordance with nature, listening to reality instead of reaction. You stop following trends. You stop chasing approval. You start trusting your own judgment. That is a dangerous thing in a world built on influence. When your decisions come from inside, no one can destabilize you from outside. Criticism doesn't shake you. Praise doesn't inflate you. Silence doesn't scare you. Your center is yours. And when your center is yours, you are psychologically armored. You don't panic. You don't perform. You don't over-explain. You simply act. That is Stoic control. You speak less. But when you speak, your words carry weight because they are not designed for reaction. They are chosen. People sense this. They may not know why, but they feel something different around you. You are not seeking approval. You are not broadcasting identity. You are not emotionally transparent. You are grounded, and grounding is authority. People who rely on attention don't know how to deal with someone who doesn't need it. They can't flatter you into compliance. They can't shame you into submission. They can't guilt you into performance. So they feel uneasy. Your independence threatens their influence. That is why silence is often misinterpreted as arrogance. But it is not arrogance. It is autonomy. The deeper Stoic shift. You stop trying to be interesting. You start trying to be true. You stop asking, how does this look? You start asking, is this right? That shift changes everything. You no longer live for image. You live for alignment. And alignment builds self-respect. You feel less reactive, less impulsive, less desperate. You don't rush to respond. You don't rush to explain. You don't rush to defend. You give yourself time, and time creates clarity. This is what emotional power looks like. Not intensity, stability. You don't need to be impressive. You are already anchored. And anchored people don't drift with every wave of opinion. They stay. They observe. They choose. This is why people start respecting you without knowing why. Because your nervous system is calm. And calm is contagious. You are not less social. You are more selective. You are not less connected. You are more intentional. And intention is the highest form of power. When the noise disappears, discipline takes its place. Social media trains the brain to seek quick reward. Post, check, react. Post, check, react. This loop weakens willpower. When you step out of it, your mind begins to detox. You stop craving stimulation. You stop needing distraction. You start tolerating stillness. And stillness is where discipline grows. Without constant interruption, you can finally work. Long hours, deep focus, quiet effort. You no longer fragment your attention into small, useless bursts. You build things, skills, plans, strength. This is how Stoics lived. Not for pleasure, but for purpose. Your thoughts are no longer scattered. You don't consume endless opinions. You don't scroll endless images. You don't compare endlessly. Your mind becomes less cluttered, and clarity creates intelligence. You start thinking in longer chains, deeper logic, wider perspective. This is cognitive power. Posting trains impatience. You want response now, validation now, reaction now. Silence trains patience. You wait, you build, you endure. And patience makes you powerful because you stop needing immediate reward. You become comfortable with delay. And delay is how great things are made. The shift in how you see time. You stop wasting it. Minutes feel valuable again. Hours feel useful. Days feel purposeful. This changes everything. Most people live in fragments. You begin to live in focus, and focused time compounds. Why this makes you formidable? While others are busy curating, you are creating. While others are chasing reaction, you are building reality. And one day, your life will speak. Not through posts, through results. The Stoics believed in controlling what you can and releasing what you cannot. You cannot control how people respond online. So you stop trying. You control your mind, your habits, your effort, and control is freedom. You become harder to provoke. No outrage cycles, no online drama, no emotional hijacking. Your nervous system settles. This calm makes you dangerous to people who rely on chaos. You sleep better, you think clearer, you feel more grounded. Your mind is no longer being pulled in 100 directions. You are here. And being here is power. Silence creates gravity. When you stop broadcasting yourself, something strange happens. People start paying attention, not because you speak, but because you don't. Your absence creates curiosity. Your restraint creates weight. In a world where everyone is loud, quiet becomes magnetic. Humans are wired to notice what is rare. Noise is common. Stillness is rare. Oversharing is common. Privacy is rare. So when you withdraw, your value rises in the subconscious of others. They don't know why. They just feel it. Why people begin to respect you. Respect doesn't come from exposure. It comes from self-control. When you don't need attention, you signal strength. When you don't chase approval, you project stability. And stability feels like leadership. The shift in social dynamics. People start to come to you. They ask questions. They seek your opinion. They feel your presence. Because you are no longer trying to be seen. You are simply being. And being is powerful. You stop being readable. Posting reveals patterns. Your mood, your fears, your plans. When you go silent, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability creates leverage. No one knows what you're thinking. No one knows what you're doing. You move freely. Why this makes you hard to manipulate. Manipulators need information. They need your emotions, your reactions, your weaknesses. Silence starves them. You become a closed system. This is Stoic defense. The rise of quiet authority. You no longer explain yourself. You no longer justify your choices. You simply act, and people adjust. This is how leaders are formed, not by shouting, by standing. You start respecting yourself more because you are no longer begging the world to notice you. You notice yourself. You become your own witness. You become internally free. Not free in the way people imagine. Not reckless. Not detached from life. But free from something far more dangerous. The need to be seen. Most people think they are independent, but they are still enslaved to how they appear. They dress for reactions. They speak for applause. They live for confirmation. When you stop posting, you step outside that prison. You no longer measure your life by how it looks. You measure it by how it feels. This changes everything. Confidence is not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need witnesses. It exists quietly because it knows who it is. When you stop performing, you stop doubting, because doubt comes from comparison, and comparison requires an audience. Before, strangers could affect your mood. Likes made you feel good. Silence made you anxious. Now, they have no access to your nervous system. Your emotions return home. This is sovereignty. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Social media is the ultimate external. When you detach from it, you reclaim your mind, because nothing outside of you can move you anymore. No praise, no insult, no attention, no neglect. You are no longer for sale. You become the person who is self-contained. Your happiness is not rented. Your worth is not voted on. Your identity is not performed. You exist, and that is enough. The world runs on insecurity. Your freedom exposes that. Your peace unsettles people. Your silence feels like judgment, even when it isn't. They feel smaller around you, not because you are cruel, but because you are whole. When you stop caring about posting, you start caring about living. And living well is the most rebellious act of all. Now listen carefully. This matters. You have just been shown 7 versions of yourself that emerge not through renunciation, but through refinement. This was never about quitting platforms. It was about quitting dependency. Before we part, consider this, and answer it honestly in the comments. If no one ever saw your progress again, would you still pursue the life you claim to want? That answer reveals everything. If this teaching struck something deep, know this: there are further lessons ahead. Click that video showing on your screen to go even deeper into a life of positive transformation. And if you wish to walk this path consistently, not loudly but correctly, then stay close. Like, subscribe, not as a gesture, but as a commitment to the quieter, stronger life you are building. The road continues.